Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday night Team Freedom Zoom call. We're so glad you guys are here. Yesterday was an exciting day. We blew past 175 new ambassadors for this month on Team Freedom, which is our highest number ever to add in a month. So, and I think we're probably going to have the most rank ups this month too. We're sitting at 11 or 12 silvers, gold, and there's some more to come. And some of the highest PV I have ever personally seen in my life. So kudos to y'all. Y'all are amazing. If you didn't see my post yesterday, blown away that I've already earned because of this magnificent team leaders retreat. And what a great shout out that is to you and the momentum of our team. So I'm super pumped. A big, huge thank you. And I cannot wait for leaders. If you don't know what I'm talking about, get on Team Freedom and look up the post. If you just joined this month, you can still win Leaders Retreat. It's a fabulous leaders event in Orlando, Florida, paid for by Plexus. So if you just joined this month, because we've got a ton of new joinees, get with your upline and ask them what Leaders Retreat is, because we want you there. Okay. Cannot wait. So excited to introduce the wonderful Mayo. We got to meet this year, or was it last fall? Was it last fall or this spring? Last fall. We met in Indiana because many of you are on Tammy Bertrand's downline. That's my cousin in Indiana. Andrea's smiling. She's like, "Yeah, I am." And so I went to an event there and got to meet Dale. And we're not on the same team at all or sidelines. But when I heard his story, I was like, wow, it blew me away. So I was so excited that he was asked to speak at convention. Any of y'all there and heard Dale speak? Raise your hand. There's quite a few that are on here. He just rocked my socks off. It was awesome. And it was just came from a totally different perspective. One, because he's a man. And he's in corporate America, and so he has a complete different angle on how he works his Plexus business. So I'm so thrilled that he agreed to speak to this team tonight, and he's just going to share his story, his testimony, and just anything else he wants to. And I hope there's a lot of men. We have a pretty good amount of men on the team. If they're not on here tonight, I'm sure they'll watch the recording. So take it away, Dale Mayo.
Well, thanks, Datha. Like she said, I'm Dale Mayo. I'm a gold ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And I want to thank Datha for inviting me to speak to you guys. So first, a little bit about me. I'm currently just turned 57 years old. When my wife first saw this business, and I was 55, she was 55. It was in 2015. I believe it was May, give or take, time frame. And because I had chronic joint discomfort, she knew that I needed ease. So she asked me to try the ease products. And up until that time, I had tried everything over the counter for joint pain. And I mean, when I say everything, you name it, I've tried it. I took in Aleve, Advil, Motrin, glucosamine, anything that was supposed to help with joint soreness or discomfort, I tried it. But to no avail. Any of it at the most did was just knock the edge off of my discomfort. So she asked me to try it, so I did, and she started giving me 2 a day on a Monday, and I took two capsules 3 times a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And when I woke up Thursday morning, my discomfort was gone, and that really, really got my attention because up until then, my morning routine was I would sit on the side of the bed and to kind of psych myself up to get out of bed because I was in so much discomfort. So getting rid of that was huge for me, and a light kind of went off in my head about these products. So I knew right away that these Plexus products, there was something to them. So at the same time that I tried the ease, I got started on the triplex. And you know, I noticed immediately that my energy level went up. I noticed immediately that my recovery from my workouts in the gym, I try to work out 3-4 times a week, and I noticed my recovery time was better. I recuperated faster. I was about eight weeks in after trying Triplex, I noticed my strength started going up, and The only thing that had changed was these plexus products. So being the gym buff that I am, I document all my workouts. And at about the month, I believe it was the 6th month, I looked and saw that my strength had went up 12%. Another 2 months later, it was at 15%. And at that time, I was 55 years old. So knowing that 55-year-old men don't get stronger naturally, I mean, it just doesn't happen. You're supposed to start getting weaker. It's hard to maintain your strength as a 40-year-old, much less a 55-year-old man. So there again, there was another thing that went off inside my head about these products. But you guys don't know this, but my wife and I had looked at 28 different businesses, like network marketing businesses, before Plexus. So I didn't want to have anything to do with another one. You know, I just thought it was another network marketing gig that, you know, they tried to sell you a product. And so, you know the story. If you've been involved in any of them, you know what I'm talking about. But so I didn't want to have anything to do with the business, even at this point, even though the products had worked great for me. And I was sharing the products with people. I was sharing the products with people I played softball with. I was sharing them with guys at the gym, talking about them. You know, and but I still didn't want to have anything to do with the business. So, and, you know, I already make an emerald income, so I didn't have a need for the income per se that the business was going to supply me. But the thing that got my attention was when I started watching these diamond documentaries and people talking about residual income and time freedom. I didn't have that. So, I mean, I still work 60 to 80 hours a week, some less, some more, some weeks it's more, some weeks it's less. So, but I still have to put that time in to get the income that I'm making. So, I say all that to say, you know, I call it the corporate junk that we go through in corporate America there's no prestige in it to me. Now, there's a lot of people that think there's prestige in what they do and what they work. And, you know, some people are, you know, they think they're all something because they make a good income. But that never impressed me. What impresses me is when you got time and money. That impresses me. And when I notice these diamonds in this business, they have time and money. So right away, there again, like I said, I didn't want to have anything to do with this business, but I was very supportive of them because the products worked for me. And like I said, I was sharing with people, and, you know, I had people trying to ease. I had people trying BioCleanse and probiotic to help them sleep. And, you know, little did I know that I should have been doing that to build my business. But, you know, I had lost my dream from a previous experience in network marketing. So I had to get my dream back. Well, fast forward, you know, here we are. She started in like May. And so now Super Saturday comes along in January. So she asked me if I would go to St. Louis with her to this thing called Super Saturday. Well, being the supportive husband that I was, I said, sure, I'll go. But I still didn't want to have anything to do with this business. I was just going to support her. And, you know, I thought, well, maybe I'll see what this is all about a little bit more, because I knew there'd be more people there and that kind of thing. So I go to this Super Saturday, not expecting anything. And Emily Roberts was there. You guys that know Emily Roberts, at this time, Emily was, I mean, she was literally 9 months pregnant, I believe, with their second child. And she was 23 years old. She's standing on stage, and she pointed to the left, and she said, I sat right there last year, and she pointed right at me. And she said, I was all by myself. And I looked at my wife sitting next to me, and I said, did you tell her I'm here by myself? She said, no. And so Emily goes on to say that, you know, here I am 10 months later, 11 months later, and I'm a sapphire. Well, something inside of me switched. I could feel it. It was like reaching over. I'm sorry. I get emotional like that. It's like somebody literally turned a light switch on. But it happened in here. And I knew it. I knew when it happened. I felt it when it happened. And if you were at convention, you know, I got to meet Emily, got to hug her, tell her thanks. because that changed my life forever. And I say that because you never know what you're going to do or what you're going to say at one of these functions to somebody, and something like that click. And one of the things that Emily said to me when I met her later that day at convention was, she said, Dale, I prayed that God would use me to reach one person. And I said, well, Emily, if it wasn't for anybody else, it was for me. So, you know, I tell people that, you know, that you never know what's going to happen at events, convention. You know, it can be an open opportunity meeting. It can be anything like that. But when that happens to somebody, and it's going to happen to somebody in this business, it happens every day. It happens all over the country. It's happening to people. That light's going off. People are seeing it. They're getting their dream back. They get their why, and then they take off and they run with this business, and it goes. So that happened to me at that Super Saturday. Janie and I, my wife and I, had a vacation scheduled right after that. So we go on vacation, and I can't stop thinking about this business. I'm thinking about who I can talk to, how I'm going to go about doing things. And so we come back from vacation. I went silver in 4 days. I went gold in four months, something like that. Shooting for senior gold, just like I said at convention. I'm going to be real close again this month. So, you know, pushing hard for that. But that's, you know, that's kind of the story of what got me to this point. And, you know, at convention, they broke out the rank up roadmaps. And I wanted to say just a little something about that. If you guys haven't seen them or haven't used them, and if you're a numbers person like I am a numbers person. I mean, I can tell you the numbers of this business almost inside out. Matter of fact, right before we jumped on here, my wife and I were talking about how you can make twice the money in this business because husband and wife both can do this business at the same time. And, you know, there's a thought process out there that if a husband and wife are building it, you should put everybody under one person. And I disagree with that just because of the numbers and the way they plan out. But if you want to know more about that, message me. I'll be glad to talk to you about it. But, you know, this business is a great, great way to earn your time back, earn your freedom, earn a great income, meet great people. I mean, this business is, you know, since convention, it's kind of been of a whirlwind for my wife and I, meeting new people and doing Zoom calls like this. So, but back to the rank up roadmap. That rank up roadmap, I am a visual person as well. And, you know, my wife knows this. I've got a white board, and when I set the month that I wanted to go gold, I drew 20 circles on the board. And I had some names already in the circles, so I wrote those names down. And then all I had to do was fill in the rest of the circles with names, because I could see that. So that's how I went gold. That's how I'm going senior gold. Now with the rank up roadmap, it's right there in front of you. It tells you how many silvers you're supposed to have on your first level, how many silvers you're supposed to have on your second level, and so on. And each level is that way. And if you are a numbers person, or if you're a methodical person and you like things in order and, you know, everything in its place, that's a great tool to use. You know, the new Slim, the Bottle Biome, the X Factor. I mean, we got the right products at the right time to build this business. You know, if any of you guys have seen any of my posts, if you follow me or are friends with me, you know, I've lost in the last 7 pounds. I've lost 12 pounds now. It was 10 just a couple of days ago. Now it's 12. And I am below the weight that I was when I was 30 years old. And I had given up thinking I'd ever weigh that. And I'm not really trying to lose weight, but, you know, if you're a fitness guy and a workout person or lady, girl, whatever, then it's always good to lose fat. So, and that's what I'm doing. So that's a great thing. You know, we've got the right products, the right place, the right time. So, you know, we couldn't ask for anything better. Plexus has always given us more. I mean, we've got the leaders retreat coming up. You know, if you're trying to go for that, you know, I would encourage you to write it down. You know, somebody posted the other day on Facebook, and I commented, I have never wrote a goal down that I didn't reach. I've had to change the date a few times, but I've never not reached a goal. And if you miss a goal this month, keep the same goal, just change the plan to get to it the next month. So, that's what I meant by that, because the goals don't change, the dates change and the plans change to get there. So that's another thing about this business. You can get so far outside of yourself just by how you grow. It's a great thing. The growth in this business that you do personally is well worth the $34.95. I just made a video for my personal page, I believe it was, and if it wasn't a personal page, it might have been another one like this. Anyway, they kind of all running together here lately. But I was telling them, if you're stuck at a rank and you want to rank up, Rob Heffley told the men at the man meeting at the convention to read books. He said, if you would read books and work on yourself, he said, you will grow yourself out of that rank and you'll rank up. I know some of you are sitting here are going to think, well, how is that going to help me rank up? Well, I can tell you how. One of the sections, one of the books that they suggested that we read is, and you write this down. It's a great book. I'm only halfway through it. It's called The War of Art. Now, I'd never heard of this book, never heard of the author, but it's broke into this book. He calls it has books within itself. Instead of chapters, he has little books. Well, the first phrase of the first book in this chapter made me stop in my tracks and put the book down. And I was thinking, like, wow, that's deep. And it says, we all have two lives to live. The one you're living and the one that's inside of us trying to get out. Now, when you think about that, and this book is about that life inside of you that needs to come out. I believe that God brought this business into Janie in our life at the right time. It couldn't have been in better timing for her health, for her story. If you don't know my wife's story, ask her to be friends. It's Janie Mayo. Ask her to be friends. She'll be glad to tell you. She's got a tremendous, powerful story and how Plexus has changed her life as well. So, but that the life within that's trying to come out of us has resistance. And that resistance is when you're supposed to contact somebody and you don't do it. Why is that? When you're supposed to follow up with somebody and you don't do that. Why is that? What is that that's holding you back? We know we're supposed to do our IPAs. We know we're supposed to do our follow-ups. You're supposed to read books. You're supposed to work on yourself. Why don't we do that? Well, there's this resistance that happens. And this book talks about how we overcome that resistance. So I'm only halfway through it, so I'm looking forward to finishing it. But I would highly recommend it. That one phrase at the start of that first book it was well worth me getting the book and start reading it. So, I would encourage you all to get that book, read books, listen to your upline. You guys have a great upline in Datha. You have a lot of momentum right now with the new products, the sale that was going on. You guys have added 175. That's phenomenal. I just tonight for supper, I met with 3 other men that are cross line from me that we wanted to get together and hash out some ideas. And, one of them, his wife's an Emerald and she retired him. He was a police officer. His name's Chris Helmer. Some of you know Cody Helmer. She's an Emerald. It was his husband, 2 other guys. We were just talking around, hashing ideas out. And, I see one man on here, but if there's any other men listening to this, I'm going to tell you that the women are kicking our butt. And we need more men to build this business. We need more men to be leaders. We need more men to be on that stage at convention next year. We need more men to line up to go to Musha K. Nothing against Rob Heffley. His wife won that trip, and Rob got to go because she did. But we need men to win that trip next year. We need men, more men. We just need men to step up and man up and do this thing. I mean, if you want to talk about residual income, I can throw numbers at you that'll make your head spin. Did you know, and if you're a numbers person, just hear this out one time. If you sponsored one person a month and you taught that person to sponsor one a month, in 7 months, you're a Ruby. If you don't believe that, draw it out. I've drawn it out several times. So one a month, and we teach 3. So, the power of 3 is phenomenal. I would also tell you that, I gave a little training talk one time, and some of you know Megan Moore. Megan just went diamond. She's the first diamond here in Indiana. That is my wife's sponsor, and Megan's like a daughter to us. And she told me, she said, Dale, I want you to train us on what you talked to me about the phone the other night. And what I was talking to her about was, like I said, I'm a numbers person. So if you're not a numbers person, just, get the comp plan and look and see what I'm saying. If you're a detail person, then you need the details of what I'm telling you. I'm just telling you here tonight. So, but if you build 3 legs, if you take 3 legs and you build them 7 deep, a silver on top of silver on top of silver. So what I mean by that is if Datha personally sponsored me and I go silver, and then I help one of those 3 go silver, and so on down to 7 levels. If you do that on 3 different legs, you're going to have 3 gold legs. Eventually, you're going to have an emerald ship. So I called that how to go emerald while shooting for gold, and that was the whole thing behind it. If you the width in this business gives you profitability, and the depth gives you security. So you want to be as wide as you can be, and you want to be you want your legs to go 7 deep. You want all your legs to go 7 deep. So that's security and that's profitability. So that's what we want in this business. So back to the men. Men, we need more of you. We need you to step your game up. You don't need to ride the coattails of your wife. You need to be the leader. Go out and do it yourself. And there is a we were talking about it tonight with the other 3 men. A lot of people in Plexus think that you should wait and let your wife go diamond before you start building a business. I totally disagree with that. And I'm just going to say one little clip about it is, yes, a diamond makes more than an emerald. We all know that. But if you think about the points, and there again, I'm a numbers guy, so this is how I think about things. An emerald is 1,500 points. So take my wife. My wife sponsored me. When I get to 1,500 points, I'm going to be an emerald. So if she just builds her outside volume, which is the 500 points, that's 2,000 points, right? Now you're going to get 2 emerald bonuses, 2 emerald checks for having 2,000 points instead of having one business that's 2,000 points. And you can do that same thing all the way up to diamond. And then when one goes diamond, and just a few months later, the other one goes diamond. Now, there's a couple in this business. I don't know if you know the Castanedas. That's how they built their business. And when I heard her husband talk about what I just said, I thought, that guy's got it right. Well, they did it. They did this all along the way. She kept her side volume. Now, when she hit Sapphire, her business exploded, and she just went big time. But that's how they structured their business. So I call that double dipping. This is the only very few network marketing companies will allow you to double dip like this. So, that's another thing that's great about Plexus. So, I can't think of anything else. Daisy, do you want me to answer any questions or anything like that?
Yes, if anyone has any questions for Dale, just having a different voice, I absolutely love that. And I know I've got Diamond Dave on here. He actually was at convention, so he heard you, and he is growing a business in Burbank, California.
All right.
I enjoyed you at the men's breakfast, and I've been excited about yourself, Dale, and it's a pleasure and honor to listen to you and learn from you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Well, if no one has any questions, I just want to thank you, Dale, for jumping on here and doing this for us, letting our team hear a different perspective. And I've got this recorded, so we'll offer this on our team page. And if you would like it too, Dale, I can offer that to you. So sure. If no questions, I want to pause recording. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Thanks.